Chapter 3 homework, questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Question 1. Define a descriptive measure. Descriptive measures are the numbers that we use to describe the data set. For example, it could be measures of center or measures of variation. It could be mean, mode, median, or it could be standard deviation. What is measures of center? So measures of center is it indicates where the center or the most typical value of the data set lies. We use mean, median, and mode for this. Measures of variation, it indicates the amount of variation. So how does the how does the values vary, or how the data is spread? This is called measures of variation. Question 2. Identify the two most commonly used measures of center for quantitative data, which talks about the numbers, and explain the relative advantages and disadvantages. So we use mean and median if it's a quantitative data, because quantitative data has numbers, and we'll find the mean and median by using the numbers. So median is a resistant measure. It's not affected by the extreme value. This is the advantage of it. And the mean is not. This is the disadvantage of the mean. But also the mean talks about the actual numerical value of all observation, and this is the advantages of the mean. And the disadvantage of the median is median doesn't talk about the actual numerical value for all observations because it's not affected by the extreme value. Question 3. Among the measures of center discussed, which is the only one appropriate for qualitative data? So qualitative data, it doesn't talk about the numbers. There's no numbers. If there's no numbers, you cannot find mean, you cannot find median. The only one we can use for qualitative data is going to be mode, because mode is going to be most observed one. For example, do the males observed more, or do the females observe more? So males and females, they're not numbers, so you cannot use median and mode. You cannot find median or mode. Median and mean of male and female, but you can use the mode. So if the number for males is greater than number of females, it means that males occur the most. So we use the mode for qualitative data. Question 4. Identify the most appropriate measure of variation corresponding to each of the following measures of center. Mean, we use mean to find a standard variation. You find a difference of each value from the mean. You subtract, and then you square it. After you square, you add them up, all numbers you get, and divide by if it's a sample, you divide by the sample size minus 1, or if it's a population, you just divide by the size of the population, then you get the square root. That's going to give you the standard variation. So we use mean to find standard variation, and we use median to find interquartile range. How do we do that? What we do is you find the median of the data, and you find the median of the first half, median of the second half, and the difference of the median of the first half and the median of the second half is going to give it interquartile range. So we use median to find interquartile range. Question 6. Dataset A has more variation than dataset B. Decide which of the following statements are necessarily true. If dataset A has more variation than dataset B, it means that it is more spread in dataset A. It is more spread than dataset B. So the values in the numbers for dataset B are close to each other, but the numbers for dataset A are not that much close. So what does A say? A says that dataset A has a larger mean than dataset B. Well, I mean, this is not always true. It's not necessarily true. Why? Because both of the data sets may have the same mean. So variation, it doesn't affect the mean. I mean, it's not with the mean. They can have the same mean, but variation gives the information about how the data is spread. So this is not necessarily true. What about B? Dataset A has larger standard deviation than dataset B. Yes, this is necessarily true. Why? Because variation gives the information about how much data is spread, and that also actually is a standard deviation. So if the data has a larger standard deviation, it's more spread. So that's why we say that the second option is necessarily true.